Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday to all of you. If you hear the music coming from the background, there is a Tai Chi class right behind those trees that I was passing by as I was approaching our Sunday spot right here, which is great because I like Tai Chi. I used to practice Tai Chi a little bit and it really helps with the energy flow. Especially for the video that I have for you today, as you can probably see in the title of this video. I hope it will bring you lots of value. I think I will do part 1 with this topic and might continue next Sunday or maybe 2 more Sundays. We see how much more content I will generate for this topic. But I think it's important to talk about, and as I was going through those informations for you, preparing them for you, I realized that this video has been recorded, this interview that I will be bringing to you today was recorded in October. It was October 2000, and in that time United States was awaiting the presidential elections, and it was between George W. Bush, so the son, and Al Gore. I think Al Gore, right. And now we have November the 3rd, and 2 days from now in United States you will have another presidential election. And what is the topic of this video? The topic of this video is, actually I got myself a $1 bill, American dollar bill. By the way, apologies, I have to do my nails, so $1 bill that we will be analyzing a little bit. What is really on this bill, how satanic and Luciferian the symbols are, how many people don't know about it. I'm sure many of you already know because you have been doing your own research. I have incredibly intelligent, wise and savvy audience, not just politically but historically, and also many of you jump into plenty rabbit holes. So what am I talking about? There has been an interview that Barry Smith, this is the name of the gentleman, who was an author and teacher, and he was teaching what is the New World Order. This interview, like I mentioned before, was recorded on October 2000. And I'm going to read you part of what he said during that interview, which is quite significant. We will be analyzing a little bit this dollar bill. The New World Order, it's a satanic Luciferian plan for the takeover of the whole world and its population. Before George Bush, we're talking the father, before George Bush called it the New World Order, Jimmy Carter, before him, called it Global 2000. Let's look at the back of the American dollar bill. We're gonna look at this, everyone, right here. And I will be trying to point with my fingers exactly the spots that this gentleman was analyzing. So let's look at the back of the American dollar. Since 1933, these 2 seals were put on the back of US dollars. So from 1933, you see this seal right here with a bird, and this one with a pyramid was put on the back of this dollar. Those are Illuminati seals, which are a secret society set up in 1976 by a man called Adam Weiss, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica. So those 2 seals were a secret society signs that was created. The Illuminati was created in 1976 by that person, Adam Weiss. Weiss was the next Jesuit, or Jesuit, you say Jesuit, priest. He was a priest who had an aim to put Lucifer on throne of the world and on the back of the US dollar. Here you can see on the left hand side, which is this one. We're going to analyze this one first, okay? With the pyramid, this one. If you have a dollar, just grab it, it will be easier. So on the left hand side there is an eye and a triangle, which many Americans presume to be an eye of God. Do you see an eye? I'm sure you do, right above the pyramid, okay? The eye. Many Americans presume to be the eye of God, but it is not. It is the eye of Horus, in Egyptian mythology, now called the eye of the Lucifer or Satan. We can establish this fact because the God we serve does not have an eye. Of course, he is not a cyclops, if I said this word correctly. It says in the Bible, it says, the eyes, in plural, of the Lord run to and through the earth. So, God has more than one eye. Anybody who is familiar with the witchcraft will know that the eye, when you open it a little bit, is the eye of the psychic knowledge. When you open it completely, it is illuminated, and this one it is the eye of the Lucifer himself. So before I continue, let me just bring this here. As I was writing this down, I want to say a few things. The third eye, which is the eye that gives you a psychic abilities, that this has been hijacked by many of the religions as well. Like this one, for example, the Illuminati, right? The Freemason religion, because that is their religion. I believe, this is my belief system, I'm sure I'm not the only one. This is the ability that we have to see through the illusions. And this is the way how you can use it. You can use it for good or you can use it for bad. You know what I mean? I think you know exactly. I just want to remind those of you, and I'm sure many of you will, when we had Schmovit in 2020, and then it continued, right, a little longer. You remember the situation before you were entering many stores. I'm talking from my experience in the time living in the United States, when they were not only require you to muzzle up, but they were also checking your temperature. You remember the machines that they were putting right here. For some reason, that was the way how they supposed to do it. They were checking your temperature, your body temperature, by hitting this spot on your forehead. And I remember several instances when I was faced with this temperature check. I could not avoid it, and I absolutely refused them to put it in this spot. And I always, well, you know, I couldn't avoid it, unfortunately, to go and buy the food. So I asked them to check with my wrist, okay? Which is the same, it's still part of your body. But continuing on this topic, because this is very important, and I know many of you know this. So, illuminated, right? This eye is eye of the Lucifer himself, who is the god of Freemasonry, the god of witchcraft, and the god of the occult and esoteric practices. Then you have the 13 layers of stone on the pyramid. So here you have the pyramid, everyone, okay? And when you count those layers, there's 13 of them, all right? 13 layers of stone on the pyramid, and people should be asking the question, what is an Egyptian pyramid doing on the back of American dollar? Like, exactly, like why there is American dollar with the Egyptian pyramid, which is symbol of another country? What link is up there between America and Egypt? And the answer is none at all. Except in the field of the occult. And as Barry Smith says, I discovered that the 13 layers of stone there stand for 13 layers in Freemasonry, which is very much involved in this plan to set up the Novus Ordo Seclorum. So let me show you, if I can show you. Actually, it's very tiny print right here, right underneath this pyramid. You have this written, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is one word government. Then you have at the bottom 1976. Actually, you know, I was trying to find it. I'm sure you will, because I don't have my glasses with, but I believe there must be somewhere. 1776, apologies. The date was May the 1st, when the Illuminati was inaugurated in Bavaria, that is part of Germany, south of Germany, not July the 4th, the Declaration of Independence, as many Americans presume. So I have to, this is my mistake, I have to go back and look with my glasses where the date is placed on this dollar. I'm sure many of you will find it. But anyway, the two words at the top. Okay, so now we look those two words right above this eye on the top of the pyramid, which says Anu chapters. This stands for announcing the birth of, and down the bottom, so the birth of is on the top, and down the bottom, Novus Ordo Sedorum. So the birth of Novus Ordo Sedorum. The word novus in Latin stands for new, the word ordo means order, and the word seclorum comes to the word secular, which means the absence of God, and thus we see that the eye cannot be the eye of God, for why would he be setting up a new system, complete world government, in the absence of himself as being in power? And thus we see we are dealing with a Luciferian plan. So I'm sure that some of you will be still questioning how holy American dollar is. And by the way, can I just tell you, you don't have the same symbols on all the dollars. This is on $1 bill. If you look at the $20 bill, by the way, actually, you can see, well, the face of the $20 bill almost looks like Epstein face, you know, Jeffrey Epstein. Almost looks like him, but I'm just, you know, plastic tinfoil head, whatever. Tinfoil head. But let's continue. So we are dealing with the Luciferian plan. On the other side, so we're going into this seal, which has the bird on it. You see this one? On the other side, we have the so-called American eagle, which we discover is not an eagle at all. According to the witchcraft, this is a phoenix, and the phoenix, as we know, was a mystical bird that rose out of the ashes of the Tower of Babel. So Babel Tower. That was man's first attempt, the Tower of Babel. God smashed it down, it failed. Second attempt is the New World Order. I predict, Barry Smith says, God will smash it, but it will reign for 3.5 years, and the whole world system will come under its power. It's starting right now. When he said it's starting right now, this was 2000, right? As I told you in the beginning of this video. But it's still raining now. I mean, lots of rain. So there is a question from the journalist who says, does it really matter that those symbols are at the back of an American dollar or any other currency? What is the significance? It's actually a very good question. Like, why does it matter? And Barry Smith says, I will not know the answer to this question if I had not had the meetings in the Seattle, Washington. One afternoon, I was walking into the building and the girl came in carrying a large volume of, this is the title of the book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly Hall, I think that's the name, who was a top Freemason writer. And when I saw the book, I got excited. I said, how much for your book? She said $20. So I paid her $20 and I got the book. When I took that book home, I discovered much of the answers to my problems. For example, he said in that book, so that person who was a top Freemason writer, he said in that book that when America was settled, it was settled by two groups of people. The Pilgrim Fathers, that's how you say it, Pilgrim. We say, how we say? Pilgrim. That's completely, yeah. Fathers, and that's why we read here in God We Trust. So this apparently comes from the good side. In God We Trust, you see right here above the one, in God We Trust. This was from the Pilgrim Fathers. They settled America for the religious freedom. He said at the time a group of occultists and Freemasons also settled it for the peculiar and particular purpose known only to the initiated ones. So it looks like there were two groups that were at the same time establishing United States. So perhaps the Civil War has something to do with it, right? I'm just thinking, right? I think that could be one of the reasons. So the initiated few are called in the Freemasonry at the top three clergyes. Sorry, you know what I mean. Degrees. Oh my God, sorry guys, my reading. What a shame. So those three top degrees are for the initiated ones. The first one is the adepts, so the adepts, then the elect, and the sages. Those men settle it for the main purpose of putting Lucifer, the god of Freemasonry, on the throne of the world. I apologize for my reading, but it's all handwritten. Sometimes I write too fast and I just mix the letters up. My mind is spinning, you know, thinking too much. So we have those two groups. We have the good ones and we have the bad ones. And it is significant that in the next month, which means November 2000, how interesting that I came across this information in November 2024, when we are right before another presidential elections. No coincidence, I don't believe in those. So it is significant that in the next month, which is November, the American elections this time are very important indeed, as either Gore or Bush will lead the world into the peculiar or particular purpose for which America was set up, which is to lead the world system into one world government, a one world religion, a one world law system, and a one world money system that the Bible calls the mark of the beast. So the mark of the beast, as you know, this is what is in the Bible. Many people were saying that this is, you know, the injection. But he says that the mark of the beast is the one monetary system, which, by the way, the idea I think is actually that you will have this chip under your skin that you will be able to scan everything with, like through your skin. That will be your mark of the beast. And I just want to say, because this came back to my memory as I was writing this down. In 2020, during the COVID time, which I spent I don't know how many thousands of hours jumping into so many rabbit holes and trying to make sense out of all of it and discovering more and more and more, I came across images of new dollars that's supposed to be printed in the new monetary system. I'm not talking about CBDC, of course, because that is digital. I'm talking about the bills like those. But those dollars were very colorful, I remember. And one of those bills, I'm not sure if it was $100 bill, what was the amount, had the image of JFK, John Kennedy, the President of the United States. So it looked to me like they had the new dollars already ready. Now it's actually making sense, because if that was the plan, there must be some good side working on it. So this Luciferian piece of, you know what, will no longer exist if the right people get into the power. So journalist asks, I would think that if, oh, thank you, I think it was confirmation. I got like pad on my back, thank you. Okay, universe communicates all the time. A journalist says, I would think that if any Freemason was watching us, they would be very upset about what you are saying. How can you be sure that the Freemasons are at the bottom of this? And Barry Smith says, the United States of America is the only country in the world, the only republic in the world that is completely, flip the page, controlled by Freemasons. The map of Washington, D.C. has the Freemasons symbols built into the streets. Just look at the map, guys. Just Google the map, or however you want to search it if you don't use Google. So the map of Washington DC has the Freemasons symbols built into the streets. You have the compass built into the streets. One end of the compass finishes at the Jefferson Memorial. The other end finishes at the White House. There is the square intersecting it further up on the map of Washington, and then you will see the satanic pentagram built into the streets of Washington DC. Also, if you look carefully, you will see the two horns on the uppermost, the two ears outwards, and the beard of the goat, which they worship, by the way. The beard of the goat, which fits into the pentagram, the 5-pointed star. Anybody into the witchcraft knows this beard stops right at the White House again. So the presidency of America is affected by the witchcraft from two different directions. Who knows, maybe 2000. Why I said this? Maybe 2000 witches are working on this. Two different directions. The point of the end of the compass, and also at the point of the beard of the goat. So guys, this is the part 1 of the topic that I might be diving again into next Sunday. But what really got me from this interview, because besides the topics, right, that I was familiar with, not to such a detail as he described, but overall I had some knowledge about it, was the energy of this man. This man was very just felt good. His energy just felt good and felt very solid, and you actually felt very comfortable listening to him. So trustworthy energy, right? So then I was thinking, where is this man now? What happened to him? And you know what? You know what I found? I might give you more details in the next video. This video was recorded in the year 2000. You know who came to power? George W. Bush, the son. Then you know what happened, 9/11, we had war in Iraq, and the rest is the history, right? In 2002, so 2 years later, after this interview, Barry Smith was found dead in his office with a gunshot wound to his head. You see? What else to tell you? So he must have been saying something that is actually true. Otherwise, probably he would live a little bit longer, or if he would pass, it would be maybe in a different way. But you know, he didn't commit suicide by hanging himself, or had a heart attack, or other things, jump from the bridge like some others. But that's all I have for you, everyone. I will attach the video down below in the description box. It means the world to me if you share your opinion with me. I apologize for my reading today because, you know, my handwriting sometimes, that's what it is. Thank you for supporting my work. I thank each and every one of you who supports me by donating on PayPal or becoming a member of my channel. It really helps me a lot. Also, joining me on Locals and Patreon. Following me on Instagram for seeing different side of me, more travel and private, and a little bit more beauty of this world. Politics only in the stories there. And if you're interested, actually I took it with me to show you, if you're interested in supporting me by ordering the book that I collaborated on with Scott Ritter, there are no symbols here. Covering Ukraine, the Scott Ritter interviews through the eyes of Anya Kay. Very, very cool book, easy to travel with, it's not too heavy, not too thick. A lot of great content here. You can order it on Amazon or directly from the publisher. The links will be down below this video as well. That's all I have for you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this Sunday video. No comment of the day today, but I think the topic itself is quite important one. So we see what's gonna happen to this Luciferian American dollar. Maybe that's should be the title of this video. And the New World Order, I have to write it in a way that YouTube doesn't get triggered, you know. That's it. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. See you in another video. Bye everyone.